Let me start this review with an interesting fact. Compact sedans or sub-4 meter sedans make up as much as 80% of entry-level mid-size sedan sales in India. What makes that fact even more interesting is that the bulk of those sales come from just two models, the Maruti Swift Dzire and the Honda Amaze. But Hyundai has entered the fray with the new Xcent. No, this car has absolutely nothing to do with the old Xcent. It's an all-new car, it's based on the Grand i10, it's available with petrol and diesel engine options, and in true Hyundai fashion, it's well priced too. Certainly sounds interesting. Let's see if it ticks all the right boxes. You can't think of the Xcent as anything but a Grand i10 sedan. That's because the two cars are identical till the rear doors. That also means styling is a neat and restrained iteration of Hyundai's fluidic sculpture design language. What's particularly nice is that the tail section on the Xcent is very well integrated with the rest of the body, unlike say something like the Swift Dzire. The shoulder line flows smoothly into the large tail lights and the rear section gets some smart details too. Especially that sculpted bumper and a nice lip at the top of the tailgate. Speaking of which, the tailgate lifts to reveal a sizable 407-litre boot. It's slightly larger than the Amaze's boot, but it's well shaped and can accommodate large suitcases with great ease. But that's just one side of its practicality. What will probably be of more interest on a day-to-day basis would be the Xcent's spacious cabin. Let me break tradition and talk about the experience from the back seat first. Like the Grand i10, the Xcent scores quite well on this front. As you can tell, there's a lot of legroom and the large windows also, help the feeling of space inside. Headroom could be a problem for those taller than 6 feet, but for the average person, it's quite good. You also get pampered by way of features. For instance, you get these adjustable headrests, there's the first-in-class rear AC vent, there's nice, well-positioned armrest with 2 cup holders. There's also a bottle holder on each of the doors. But if there was a complaint, I'd say that the Xcent's cabin isn't really wide enough to seat 3 in comfort, but I think on short journeys you wouldn't have too much of a problem. Up front, anyone familiar with the Grand i10 will feel just at home. The supportive seats and dashboard are a carryover from the hatchback. Quality levels are very good too. One change people will take kindly to is the inclusion of automatic climate control. In fact, the Xcent gives you lots of features to play with, at least in top spec SX trim. You get steering mounted audio controls, Bluetooth telephony, 1 GB of onboard music storage, an electrochromic mirror, reverse camera, push to start, the works. Sadly, ABS is only an optional extra and even airbags are available only on the top version. What you do get though is the option of a petrol and diesel engine, with the petrol car additionally sold with an automatic transmission. I'm driving the Xcent diesel and it uses the same diesel engine as the Grand i10. So it's got a 1.1 litre CRDI motor. But if you look at the specs, you'll notice that it makes slightly more power, 1 bhp more to be precise, with 71 bhp on offer and 2 kgm more of torque. But the thing is, the Xcent doesn't really feel very quick off the blocks or say responsive as the Amaze diesel. It also lacks the punch we've come to like from the Swift Desire's diesel engine. Where the Xcent motor does feel very good is in the mid-range. It can cruise effortlessly and you have adequate power to overtake, at least on the highway. Thereafter, there's really no point revving the engine to the red line because power flattens out. As for refinement, there is a lot of patter from the diesel engine, but it's still not as vocal as the Honda Amaze's diesel motor. Hyundai's engineers have reworked the software on the diesel motor and have even tweaked the turbocharger. The result is a 13% increase in torque and, well, the car is a lot more drivable and even more efficient than the Grand i10 hatchback. Hyundai claims an ARAI tested mileage of 24.4 kilometers per litre. While that is still less than what you'd get on the Amaze, it's not a bad figure at all. What's also quite nice about the Xcent is that the steering weighs up adequately when you're driving fast. It doesn't have that disconnected feel that Hyundais were formerly known for, and that really adds a nice sense of security when you're at highway speeds. Other things to like about the Xcent include its low-speed ride and high-speed stability. Now, the low-speed ride is good in the sense when you're going over potholes, say at typical city speed, you'll find the suspension very absorbent. And what's also nice is the suspension is very quiet. You can't really hear it at work. As for high-speed stability, what's nice is that the car doesn't move around much. I mean, this is a small car at the end of the day, and it doesn't get ruffled by crosswinds. I also got a chance to sample the petrol version of the Xcent. Once again, its 1.2-litre 82 bhp engine is shared with the Grand i10. It's a pretty high-tech motor with variable valve timing and drive-by-wire. It's quite impressive to drive too. Now, the petrol engine on the Xcent makes about 82 bhp, which puts it at a slight power disadvantage compared to the Honda Amaze's petrol engine. But still, this is a very responsive motor and there's lots of pep, especially when you're driving at typical city speeds. Refinement levels are also very good, which is always welcome. And what you'd also like is the smooth shifting gearbox. What's more, the clutch is also very light and takes much stress out of city driving. For those who want to do away with the bother of the clutch altogether, the petrol Xcent is also available with a 4-speed automatic. Sadly, Hyundai didn't have a test car for us to try on the launch drive. But driving within city confines, we did like the Xcent for its easy to drive character. So that's the Hyundai Xcent for you. It's a spacious and comfortable compact sedan, and it looks smart enough to warrant a second look. It's also got plenty of features, and the engines don't disappoint either. Hyundai does lose some brownie points for being stingy with safety equipment. But what I can't wait to find out is how the Xcent holds its own against its competitors in the Honda Amaze and the Maruti Swift Dzire. Now that should be an interesting competition.